Behind me is the Tumbleweed Saloon in Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's on the verge of a total collapse. In this video, we are completely remodeling this saloon from the wallpaper to the bar and even a crazy poker room transformation at the end. And we're gonna add up the total cost of every renovation down to the exact cent. Let's start with the outside walls. They are in desperate need of a fresh coat. But before we pick up our brushes and rollers, we need to figure out how many gallons of paint to buy. To find that number, we can calculate our total wall area by measuring the building's dimensions. Stay with me. Looking at the shape of the saloon, it's not a perfect rectangle. From a bird's eye view, we can see that the saloon has a little corner piece taken out. This whole shape is called a cut rectangle, and we're gonna designate each side with a letter. A and B are the length, where C and D are the width, and E is our cutout, called the slant. But to make this easier on ourselves, let's fill in the corner for now, take out the E, and call it a perfect rectangle. And now that we have two parallel sides, the length and width can be measured. We have to find something in the game that is one-to-one with its real counterpart. The best option I found was my beautiful Arabian horse. Horses are measured in units of hands, and to get the horse's length, you measure from the shoulder to the booty. The average length of an adult Arabian horse is somewhere between 14 and 16 hands. To keep this a nice whole number, let's go with 15 hands equals one Arabian horse. And now that we have our measurement device, let's start out by finding side A. I took out anything that could obstruct our measurement to get a clean, flush setup. Then I rode my little horsey up to the wall for scale and measured out the length by the amount of horses that fit within side A. So, side A is 9 Arabian horses long. But what does that actually mean? Well, remember, one Arabian horse is 15 hands. So, 9 horses times 15 gets us 135 hands. And thankfully, the intelligent horse scientists of the world have already come up with the hands to inches converter. So, 1 hand equals 4 inches. So with that number, we multiply 135 hands times the 4 inches, which gives us 540 inches or 45 feet. And since side A and side B are the same right now, we can fill both of those in. Perfect. I got a D in college math, so I hope this works. And to find the width of side C, we just do the exact same calculation. Clear the path, line up the horse, and duplicate. Side C is 6 horses wide or 30 feet. So now that we have all 4 sides filled in, what about the height? All I did was take side A, flip the horse, and measure it out vertically. And the height was 4 horses or 20 feet. Now that we have all of our numbers to find the total wall area, what we do is add up each side and then multiply it by the height, which is 20, and that gets us 3,000 square feet. Hooray! But remember our little e-friend, the slant? Now we have to subtract that from our total to get a number as accurate as possible. However, the slant proved much more difficult to measure than I originally thought. The plan was just to use the horse like I did for the original 2 sides, but that was clearly not going to work. I couldn't access it close enough, and the residents of Tumbleweed were getting quite unhappy with me. From getting thrown off my horse, I lost health, so I did something that I've done hundreds of times in Red Dead 2. I ate, and I healed myself. But after eating a can of baked beans, John Marston did something I never noticed. Could we use a can of baked beans to measure out the slant? Yes. I needed to find a way to accurately measure the size of these cans so that we could line it up just like we did on the other sides. And after some digging, I came upon a 552-page PDF called Household Engineering, Scientific Management in the Home by Mrs. Christine Frederick. This is a detailed outline from shopping to cleaning to meal schedules from over 100 years ago, which roughly matches up with our timeline in Red Dead Redemption 2. And would you look at what I found under the table of standard sizes of cans? Baked beans. Cans around the early 20th century were mostly given a number instead of a measurement, and the beans are rated at a 2.5. So that's a start, but how do we get that 2.5 rating into inches? Unfortunately, this numeric system is completely outdated, but I did find some information on the sizes of 2.5 cans. I found multiple sources saying that a 2.5 rating is roughly 4 1/16 by 4 11/16. The first number doesn't matter, it's the height that we want. Converting that into a decimal gets us 4.6875 or 4.7 inches for 1 can of baked beans. So we have an estimated height now. How do we match the scale? Well, John ate a lot of beans. After consuming the beans, the can is thrown to the ground. So I force-fed him until I got the perfect drop for a measurement. It took some time, but we eventually got it. And at 4.7 inches per can, the E-slant is a whopping 24 cans of baked beans, or 112.8 inches, or better yet, 10.5 feet. Multiply that by the height, which is 20, we got that earlier, and our E-slant square footage is 210. And subtracting that from our total square footage, which was 3,000, gives us 2,790 square feet for the Tumbleweed Saloon. But our conversion isn't over yet. We may have found the square footage of the building, but we're not painting the entire building. The doors and the windows also have to be accounted for in our calculations. Most of the doors can be left in the estimation because they're also going to be painted over, except for one, the front door. The front entrance is a swinging door with a cutout that is larger than any of the other door frames. Thankfully, this is exactly where we measured the E-slant, so the same formula can be applied. The width is 8 cans and the height is 12 cans, making our door frame 14.7 square feet, bringing our new total to 2,775.3 square feet. As for the windows, we need a new method of measuring. There are 3 large windows and 9 small windows that all have to be accounted for. Let's start with the large ones. The horse method would not work, nor the baked beans, so I pulled out my Hail Mary. A gun. The weapon used is the Cattleman revolver, based on the Colt Model 1873 Single Action Army. And our version has the 5.5-inch barrel, bringing our length per revolver to 11 inches. But how can this measurement be pulled off? I didn't have a way to bring up my gun and then turn the camera at the same time. It just wasn't working. So that is where photo mode came in. I would aim, line myself up as close as I could to the wall, turn my camera, and then enter photo mode to pause the animation. I tried over and over again until I got the perfect lineup within the window frame. Then I went into Photoshop and tilted the gun, and then did the same thing as always. Duplicate and calculate. The large window is 6 revolvers wide and 4 revolvers tall, or 66 inches by 44 inches, or 5.5 feet by 3.6 feet, which gives us a total square footage of 19.8. With our total of 3 large windows, our number is 59.4 square feet. As for the small windows, we did the exact same thing. That came out to 2.5 revolvers wide and 4 revolvers tall, bringing our 9 small windows to a grand total of 74.52 square feet. Adding both of our window sizes together, we get 133.9. And that brings our final, yes, I promise, final, total square footage of paintable surface to 2,641.38 square feet. From Lowe's to Behr to even Sherwin-Williams, 1 gallon of paint covers roughly 350 square feet. And dividing that into our total gives us 7.5 gallons of paint, but since we're gonna go ahead and do 2 coats to be safe, let's go with 15 gallons of paint. But now you run into the problem of what brand? Which do you choose? There are so many factors like price, finish, paint type, and even picking between premium and non-premium. To make it simple, I've landed on Behr's Premium Plus Exterior Flat Paint and Primer, touting a non-reflective matte sheen perfect for any touch-ups and excellent protection of wood. Non-sponsored, by the way. And this paint costs $43.98 per gallon, bringing our paint cost to $659.07. And to completely round off our painting escapades, let's buy some supplies. Tarps, paint roller frames, paint roller covers, paint trays, ladders, tape, sponges, a multi-tool, and we'll tack on an extra $100 for any fees or missed items, bringing our absolutely final paint total to $2,244.07. And also, just for reference, we're not including labor costs, obviously. I'm just doing this out of the kindness of my heart. Okay, now let's go inside. The first thing we need to take care of is the wallpaper. There are chips, rips, and all sorts of blips we need to fix. I want the heart and soul of this place to stay intact. So instead of just painting over everything, we're gonna patch up the rough spots and make it all look brand new. And thankfully, since we already have our square footage, all we have to do is plug in our numbers into the Lowe's calculator. So this job will take roughly 54 rolls of wallpaper. Let's call it an even $40 for one roll of wallpaper, bringing our total to $2,160 just for the wallpaper. However, we need some tools to patch everything up. According to WikiHow and a wonderful YouTube video, the items we'll need are a knife, some more blue tape, wallpaper adhesive, an extra paintbrush, and a damp rag. And once you have all your items, it's really simple. Check out some before and afters. Oh yeah, this place is already looking loads better, but we're not done yet. While I was patching up the walls, I figured it would be a good time to reconsider the wall art layout. It had to come down anyways while we were doing the wallpaper, so why not reconfigure it a little bit and maybe even add some new ones? Wall art needs to tell a story, to catch eyes, to put a drunk man in a trance. But unfortunately, it looks like the drunk man also hung up all the wall art. They're all crooked, haphazardly placed, and downright dirty. With just a little bit of effort and a leveler, we can make all of the wall art look brand new. And with the combination of some new art, we've given this place a complete facelift. I just love the animals playing cards. What a classic look that is. Oh. Marvelous, just marvelous. But unlike the eye-catching nature of wall art, the floors definitely need to be addressed. Accidents happen. Broken glass, spilled drinks are something you can most certainly expect in a saloon. However, cleaning up said mess is the next step that all of the saloons seem to forget. We're not going to replace the floorboards by any means, but investing in a good broom, mop, and just general cleaning supplies can have this place looking squeaky clean. Most of the time, the little details add up, and while most people aren't looking at their feet, I think we've done a pretty good job. But sometimes things just aren't fixable, and that's when a cover-up job needs to happen. And that's exactly why I've invested in some mats and rugs to help cover up the floorboards and also add some style to the saloon. The front door needs to be a bit more inviting. Let's add a welcome mat and get rid of this dingy old rug. Can't have a welcome mat without a goodbye mat at the back door. The scary alligator print is just so lovely. See how much better this is looking already? The bartender is also in need of something new to stand on. Not only in comfort, but also in practicality. Let's give him the black rubber mat he's always deserved. And speaking of the bar, I was actually pleasantly surprised with the cleanliness of it. The top surface could use a wipe down, the two barrels should probably just go away elsewhere, and it could use a little light. We'll add a candle. Still thrown off by the strange photos of people on the back wall, but we can straighten those out for him. And someone should also probably get started on the dishes because putting it by the window in direct sunlight is like nuking the scraps. Not the best smell. But overall, I was pretty happy with how the bar already was. Well done. Now upstairs is where I really wanted to push the limits. This is the money-making machine, and while the drinks are usually flowing, it's the house cut on poker that keeps the lights on, or the candles lit. Anyways, they have a poker room, and I wanted to turn this into a complete man cave, an attraction that cowboys far and wide hear legend of. Let's fix the walls, add some new art and inspiration, pick up trash from the ground, polish the couch, add a beer fridge, and a brand new, refurbished, poker table. That dusty old thing was on its last leg, and while it has some history to it, I think the boys are gonna really enjoy this new table. And it was purchased for a great price. Then, for the final touch, a neon sign to add to the atmosphere. I think the boys are gonna love this place. The Tumbleweed Saloon has now had a much needed facelift. Our grand total for this saloon renovation was $5,781.46. I think the people of Tumbleweed are gonna be really proud of the work that we've done today. What other saloon should be renovated? Let me know down below so that I don't forget it and I get on it. But for now, I'm gonna go play some poker. You know where to find me. See you guys.